All right, sixth graders, let's go ahead and get ready for that test. We're going to go over the review sheet really quick, which is a mirror image of the test, except that I changed the numbers around. So let's begin. Number one says Casey scores in his card game. Her score is 4 points away from zero. All right. If Juanita's score is the opposite of Casey's and is a negative value, what is Juanita's score? Well, if we had a number line, it'd be very easy to see that we're going to take, let's see, if we have 0 here, and we've seen that her score was 4 away from 0, that would put her at 4. If Juanita's score is the opposite of Casey's and is a negative value, so if it was negative, that would have to make it a negative 4. Okay, what is Juanita's score? Well, that's right there, negative 4. All right, number 2 says, remember, I'm sorry, getting back to number 1, let's remember when we talk about the value of a number, you talk about how far it is from 0, okay? Since 4 is 4 away from 0, and this one had to be a negative number, we knew it had to be 4 in the other direction. Getting back to number 2, swimmers dive to 60 and 65 feet below the surface. So let's just say you have the water here. One diver has gone down 60 feet. The other one has gone just a little more to 65. They want to know the depth closest to the surface. Well, of course, if the surface is here, then the depth closest to the surface is going to be 60. Okay. Let's see. Number 3. For the number line shown, which statement is not true? We got a number line here. All I do know is this area here between 0 and A is a lot bigger than 0 and B. So let's start with A. A says the absolute value of A is greater than B. All right. So remember, we're looking for the one that's not true. We know the absolute value is how far a number is from 0. So this has to be bigger than B, right? Because even if this is a negative number, the absolute value is going to make it positive. So yes, A is going to be bigger than B. That's a true statement. Next, it says negative B is less than B. Well, if we're talking about the absolute value of B, it's going to be the same as B. And then if it's negative, though, then that means it's going to be the negative. So let me make that a little bit more right over here, about the same distance B is from, right? This is going to be negative B over here, and that means it will be smaller than regular B. Because remember, the more number is to the right, the bigger it is. The more number it is to the left, the smaller it is. All right, C said the absolute value of A is bigger than A. All right, let's check this one out. The absolute value of A is going to be a positive number, which means it's going to be over here. And that has to be bigger than A because A is way over here. All right, it's not leaving us a lot of choices to go with here. We can see this last one says the absolute value of A, in other words, this whole distance from 0, and a positive number is going to be bigger, or it's going to be smaller than the absolute value of B. Okay, so they're saying, would this over here, if it was the absolute value, let's just say this was 7 all the way across. The absolute value of it would be a positive 7. And what they're saying is this value, A, right, is it going to be less than the absolute value of B? And that doesn't look possible, so I'm going with D. All right, what is the perimeter of RS to U? Well, I mean, the simple way is just to go ahead and count the dots, right? We got from here to here, there's 2 dots, and from here to here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 and 2 makes 6. And if this is 6, then this one must be 6. And then from here to here is 2, and from here to here is 2, and 2 plus 2 is 4. And if this side's 4, this side's 4. All right, now we've got two sides that are 6. That's going to be 2 times 6. Remember, they're looking for the perimeter, and that's how far something is around. So now I have 2 times, let's see, 4. 2 times 6 is 12, and 2 times 4 is 8. So the total perimeter is going to be 20, because 12 and 8 make 20. All right, let's go to number 5. Which answer lists the numbers from least to greatest? All right, we're going to have to know what these numbers are from least to greatest to do this. And in the same term, in other words, as all fractions or as all decimals. I'm going to put them all as decimals because that's easier for you to figure out. This first number is 8 over 4. And notice all these numbers, okay, on every one of these, they're just in different orders. So we know that 8 over 4 is the same as saying 8 divided by 4. And that's 2. So we know that this is going to be equal to 2. Next is negative 4 over 5. Well, I know 4 out of 5. If I was to go ahead and, again, treat this like a division problem, but remember this is negative 4 out of 5. Really, I could just say that I have a negative 4. I'm dividing it by 5. I'm going to have to go ahead and put a decimal point here. I know a negative divided by a positive will give me a negative number. And 5 goes into 40. I'll put my decimal here 8 times. So this is going to be negative 0.8. Okay, negative 0.8. Next, we've got 2.3. That's already in the form that we need it to be, 2.3. Next is 0.46. That's another number that's already set. And then we got negative 7 over 5. Well, again, we can treat that like a division problem, right? So we're going to have negative 7 over 5 is going to be equal to negative 7 divided by 5. Let's see. I know 5 goes into 7 one time, leaving me with 2. When I annex to 0, that's going to be 4, because 5 times 4 is 20. So this is going to be equal to 1.4. But remember, this is a negative divided by a positive. So actually, it's going to be a negative 1.4. Okay. All right, now let's compare these numbers. If we were to put them on a number line, let's see. Well, if this is 0, I know these negative numbers are going to be over here. And then the negative 1.4 comes farther over here. And it was representing negative 7 over 5, so that'll be negative 7 over 5. The next biggest number is negative 0.8. That's going to be somewhere over here. Oh, I'm sorry, but it was written as a negative 4 over 5. right, and let's see, those are our negative numbers. So now I'm going to go for my positive numbers. My positive number has 0.8, 2, and 2.3. I know out of all of these, 0.46 is going to be the smallest number because it's not even at 1. And then we've got, well, 2 over here, represented by 8 over 4. Let's see, and then lastly, I'll have 2.3 over here. All right, so my first number better be negative 7 over 5. I see 1 here, and that's the only one actually, isn't it? So it looks like D has to be my answer. Number 6, what are the coordinates of a point in quadrant 3? Remember, this is quadrant 1 over here, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. And they're saying, what are the coordinates in a point in quadrant 2? 2, I'm sorry, I thought it said 3 before. 2, so this quadrant right over here, which is 5 units away from P. Well, P is over here, and it has to be 5 units away. The only way I'm going to do this is go across this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to put me at 3, negative 3, and 3. Okay? Negative 3 and 3. All right. That's your answer, number 6. Number 7 now says, Carlos drew a plan for his garden. Got his garden here. He says that the rose bushes are located at, see, point A is negative 5 and 4. Well, negative 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it says 4, and it's positive 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's got to be right there. That's going to be A. Next, we got B at 3 and 4, and 3 and 4 is at 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is going to be B. Next, we got C, 3 and negative 5. So 3 and negative 5 is, let's see, 1, 2, oh, positive 3 and negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now they're saying, let's see, graph and label the point to show the location of the rose bushes. We just did that. Where should Carlos place the 4th rose bush if he wants to have a bush, his bushes form a rectangle? Well, if he's forming a rectangle, just going to check this out really quick. And he started here. That would tell me that his next coordinate's got to be, yeah, you guessed it, right there. All right, so I'm going to get rid of that. And that tells me that it should be right about here. And what is this coordinate? We're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 5. And let's see, going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like another negative 5. All right, so negative 5 and negative 5 should be my answer. All right, let's go to number 8. Write an ordered pair for the point in quadrant 3. All right, let's go ahead and use this one again. If I'm going to quadrant 3, remember this is 1, 2, 3, right? And it's 3 units away from a point that is 1.5 and negative 1.5. Well, 1.5 is about right here. Negative 1.5 would be right here. So we're talking about a point right here. I think I'm going to make it a different color so it's very evident to which one this belongs to. Now it's saying it's 3 units away and it's in quadrant 3. Remember, quadrant 3 is over here. We're in quadrant 4 right now. So they're saying it's 3 units away. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. So from what I see, I'm going to be sitting at -1 and -1. So I would say the ordered pair is actually it's -1.5, -1.5, right? And then a -1.5 again. All right. Sorry about that. I was trying to correct some things. -1.5, I said, right? Yeah, so that should have been a 1. Let me erase that. And -1.5. Okay. Next, number 9 says, choose all pair of points that are reflected across the others, okay, of both axes. Wow, both axes. You know, I think I'm going to come over here and just kind of use this board real quick to give me an idea. I'm going to erase these off. And now I know 3.5 and -1. Well, 3.5 would be 1, 2, 3 plus a little extra. -1 would put me right here. And they're saying that and -3.5. -3.5 would be way over here. 1, 2, 3, and then a half. And 1 would be up here. Now it says choose a pair of points that are reflected across each other, are reflections of each other across both axes. This is a key word, both. So let's see. First, I'd have to go to -3.5 and then go down to -1. So the opposite, of course, is going to be this one here. So yes, that's a good one. Next, it says 5.2. I'm going to go with a different color. 5.2 and -1. Well, 5.2 will be right here, and -1 will put me at right down here. And it's saying -1 and 5.2. Well, -1 is over here, and 5.2 would be way up here. So does this match up? Well, let's see. Not really, because if I flipped it, it would be here, and then it should be about here. Actually, all the way over here. So I'm going to go with no on that one. Next one, -1.5. Let's go with a different color again. -1.5 would be here. Next, it says 2, so I'm going to go 2 up. See, it said -1.5, and then 2 up to be right here. All right, and then it says -1 and 1.5. Well, -1 would be right over here, and 1.5 would be 1.5, and that would be here. So that's not going to work. Let's try this one. -4 and 4 1/3. Well, -4, let's go to a different color again. -4, 1, 2, 3, 4. -4 and 4 1/3. And 4 1/3 would be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1/3. All right, and then this would be 4 and 4 1/3. Okay, so 4 and 4 1/3 would be about right here. And though it does cross over my y-axis, it does not cross both axes, because if it did both, it would be somewhere over here. So that one is wrong. Now let's go to that last one. 1 and negative 3.75. All right, one last color. Let's see. Sorry about that. Here we go. 1 and negative 3 point, there's 1. And then negative 3.75. Oh, there's 3, so about right here. And then it says negative 1 and 3 and 1, or 3 and 3/4. So negative 1 and then 3 and 3/4. All right, so as you can see, we crossed here and then we crossed over. All right, so that would be that one there. And now number 10. Jasmine draws a map of her vegetable garden. She wants to plant beans 1 foot away from the corn and 5 feet away from the tomatoes. Graph the location where Jasmine would plant the beans. Well, if she's doing 1 foot away from the corn, here's the corn. She's either going to be here or here. And it says 5 feet away from the tomatoes. The tomatoes is down here. So if I went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, I could go ahead and put myself there, and that would be 1 foot away from the corn. So that would be it. Graph the location. If I was going to graph that location, it'd be negative 3 and 2. All right. Well, I hope that helps you prepare for our test. Looking forward to you guys taking it and showing off your great math skills. I will see you in class, and good luck.